Welcome to Beyond the Bench, a podcast dedicated to the unsung heroes of college athletics. We pull back the curtain and give you a first-hand look into what goes into operating successful athletic departments and programs. Beyond the Bench is brought to you by Motion Sports, the technology platform for modern college athletics. You can listen to or watch every episode of Beyond the Bench on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoy this episode.
All right. So we are here at the University of San Diego. First guest of the day is
Lauren Kirby.
Awesome. Do you want to just start with a quick 1 minute who you are? Quick summary.
Yeah. Wow, 1 minute. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Quick summary. My name is Lauren Kirby. I am originally from Texas. Kind of started my path in athletics. I did play college basketball at Wofford College in South Carolina. Took me to the East Coast. Realized very quickly I didn't want to teach in a classroom, but I got into learning support, so working with student athletes one-on-one to develop academic skills, transitional skills. Loved it. And then worked my way to where I was able to go to LSU. Then some people I worked with at Arkansas, actually where I was a GA, got positions at Baylor, so I was able to come home and lead learning support there. And then got married. My husband wanted to come to the West Coast and was trying to get out here, and I thought it would be a great time to transition with how the landscape's evolving. I love supporting student athletes. I love helping them develop, but saw a really cool opportunity to do that outside of just school and see how they can grow professionally and personally, and building up their brand and connecting to the community in a new way. So Kimya Massey got the athletic director job here, and I am lucky enough to be able to serve in the director of NIL role, and he created that when he got here, and be able to do some pretty cool stuff with a pretty cool staff. So that's a little bit about me.
Sweet. All right, we're gonna start with a few trivia questions about the University of San Diego.
Just
to see if you've got any.
Can we have a disclaimer that I've only been here 7 months?
Yes.
Get that on there.
Yes. All right. What is USD's mascot?
The Toreros.
And what does that actually mean? What is a torero?
So my understanding is the torero is kind of like a bullfighter.
Yep.
And then we do have a mascot that's also a bull. So we have the torero and the bull, but yeah, bullfighter.
And let's do, how many Division I sports does USD offer currently?
17.
You got it like the back of your hand.
Let's go. About 475 student athletes.
Here. The University of San Diego was founded in what year?
I should know this because we were just talking about the math. 1949, whatever. I don't do math, but we're about 75 years. We just hit 75 years.
Okay. And last one. What former USD quarterback played in the NFL and is now a prominent NFL broadcaster?
I mean, I know Jim Harbaugh coached here. Who do we? Oh, can I get a hint? Actually, that's going to be worse.
Starts with a J.
Jeremy?
No.
Jaden?
No.
John. All right, we're done. I'm out.
Josh Johnson.
That's on me.
That's all right. But anyways, let's get into more of the NIL stuff and more of your day-to-day, You want
to keep doing academics? Come on, bring me back to my roots.
I'm almost done.
I'll study up next time.
Yeah. So take me through a day in your life. What does the director of NIL do on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah. I think it's really interesting at USD because we do have the opportunity to wear so many hats. So for me, my day-to-day in NIL will probably look different than maybe my colleague down the street at San Diego State. And I love that because I'm so used to, in academics, I did one thing and I did one thing really well. Now I get to do 50 things and I'm just trying to execute all of them. So a day I can take you through maybe this morning, 8 a.m., I'm on a call with the Chamber of Commerce. I joined a mastermind group there. We're learning about how to connect with businesses. It's all local business owners. I'm giving them feedback and they're helping me try to create a good product that businesses might want to invest in with our student athletes. Then I hop on a call with a tech platform who I'm providing feedback to that is looking at social media metrics for student athletes. And I'm like, this makes sense here. Like, this is what's working for us. Can you help us change a few things to make it easier to navigate? and then hop on actually a networking call with somebody that I know, and we're kind of working through like what are y'all doing in the NIL space with the House settlement going through. And then, goodness, I don't know, I breathed for a second, and then did meet with a student athlete, and then, got to get ready for this and come in here.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of making things happen. So where I was used to, in some roles, your day's really scheduled out. If you're a director of NIL, you got to make things happen. You're making the connections, you're making opportunities, and then you're trying to execute those things. And a lot of it is getting other people involved to help you do your job.
Yeah. And obviously, so you were a student athlete at one point, and now you're helping student athletes. What's the biggest motivator for you, and where's your fulfillment come from, and what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I was just talking with somebody about this yesterday, actually. I used to be like, it's all about the student athlete experience, and it is, but I think it's also just people. It's about helping people. And is that our staff? Is that helping them get opportunities to get involved with NIL? Or is that the student athlete experience and trying to provide the best opportunities for them? I have been blown away by the student athletes at USD and student athletes like you who are starting these amazing things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I was just going to class and playing a sport. I can't imagine all of the things, but to really see them shine in their own way years above and getting way more resources than they would have gotten, 5 years ago, really keeps me going. And it's exciting to see them passionate about really cool opportunities.
Yeah. And obviously NIL, most people listening will probably know, but it's pretty much still brand new. It's only been a few years now, and it's still changing almost weekly, it seems like. So what do you see is the next evolution for NIL? Where do you think it's going to end up going? Do you think it's going to get pulled back? Where do you see it in 5 years?
Yeah. I feel like the 5 years things is funny. I'm like, what about next month? Where do I see this? But
seriously,
I think one really great thing to distinguish, and I try to do this anytime I'm able to speak on it, is we have true NIL, which obviously you're doing. It's that quid pro quo where you are doing something in exchange for a service. And it is those brand deals. It's showing up to events and doing things, those partnerships. And then there is the revenue sharing, where we are able to share in revenue with student athletes, assuming the House settlement does pass. That's happening right now. And I think it's important to realize we've just tapped the surface of true NIL. How do we get our corporate sponsors more involved with utilizing student athletes? How do we continue to grow their brand and really help set them up for a lot of our students? They will be depending on these skills if they do go pro in certain Olympic sports. So I really see it as, I think we'll get more involved as not necessarily being agents, but really trying to help get more deals for the students instead of kind of putting the onus a little bit more on the athlete to have the desire, and then we're kind of helping facilitate.
Yeah. So what how do you measure success for your NIL program here?
Anthony, you tell me, my guy. No, I'm just kidding. That was one of my big questions when I interviewed for this position, because being a former student athlete, I'm not necessarily externally competitive, but I'm very internally competitive. I want to be the best for whoever I'm working for. I want to represent them really well. And so I wanted to know what does success look like? And it kind of drives me a little crazy to be like, it changes all the time. But I think for me right now, are our students learning how to build their brand? Are we giving them the tools that they need to be successful? However engaged they want to be, knowing some don't want anything to do with it, well, they still need to know financial literacy. They still need to be able to network. How do we tie that into professional development? But then also looking at how are we impacting our community? It's not just about dollars for me. I was like, if you want someone to come here and just be a fundraiser, that's wonderful and that's someone else's job, but I want to tell a story. I want to make meaningful impact on a community. So I think the more businesses, we've done a lot of cool things with local businesses, and for us to be able to expand our brand in the community has been extremely impactful to me, and I feel like that's a success. I know in this age of college athletics, it's so transactional, but it's how do we keep this a transformational process? Because that's why I got into the field. Yeah,
I mean, when I was just starting out with NIL and everything, the biggest win for me was hey, I can get a free burger on campus. The small things that people don't realize make such a big difference, but they'll go and see on Twitter these huge NIL deals for the 1% of athletes, but it kind of skews people's perception of the fact that it's the smaller things that really make a difference for like 99% of athletes.
100%. And I'm the first to say, you know, at first I was a little hesitant, like in academics, I'd be working with certain students and I'm like, it didn't feel super great. And then I got to see what student athletes were really able to do and the impacts that it has for the 99%, where you are like, what an opportunity. We have students not only using their platform to develop professionally, but also to give back. Like we're doing something right now where we have about 8 student athletes who all have causes that they really care about. And we were able to partner with a company called Shine the Light that does merchandise, and they all created different collections that highlighted a certain awareness. Well, then we also partnered with a group called Impact Player who partners NIL deals with nonprofits. And so we were like, what's the cause you care about? Okay, let's create a merchandise collection about it and give some of the proceeds to that nonprofit. And then so it's these cool partnerships that it's like, wow, now we have someone that is working with a nonprofit that helps the homeless in the San Diego community. They're going to put on an event next week where they're giving out free haircuts, free food, and giving out clothing there. And they're able to leverage their social media presence to get people involved. And there's really cool things, but the narrative is $10 million to a quarterback. Quarterback walks away from deal instead of seeing some of these really amazing stories. And I get it. Like the media wants to sell what they want to sell, but some of those heartfelt stories I wish could be promoted more.
No doubt. And so you're so busy helping all the student athletes. Do you have people or technology helping you or helping them, or like, are you kind of just...
I'm so glad you asked that, because I would hate myself if I got off this podcast and I wasn't like, the only reason why I can do my job is because of other people. Like you said, the field changes every day. So I felt confident coming into the role saying there's no experts. Anyone that says there's an expert, they are an expert in NIL, there just can't be.
Right.
So I had enough confidence or enough naivety to be like, I think I can do this. But I mean, my first weeks here, I just figured out enough people to call that I had all my questions, because I walked into every room being like, I got to figure this out every day. And I'd call somebody, say, what would you do? Okay. And then I'd say, can you connect me with someone else? And I'd call that person, ask them another question. So you're never overloading one person. But the network in this has been incredible. And I think that's really important, because I thought NIL would be so competitive. And people would be like, we're not trying to help anybody. But the people in this space have been remarkable. I can't say enough good things about Brendan at San Diego State and trying to help make the student athlete experience in NIL good for everyone. So people have been amazing. And there's certain platforms that have been super helpful, like student athlete scores, when we use to help with our social media metrics and to be able to share with the community and donors. And look, I take every call. I just got off a call this morning, and I won't say the name of it because it's going to be my guy. But like, I'm like, tell me what you're doing. Like, people just reach out on LinkedIn. Let me hear what you're saying, because even if we can't partner with you right now, maybe it's an idea. Like, my job is to find everything that's going on and be able to figure out exactly what's a good fit for us. And if we can't do it, like, just know what's happening in the space.
So what would be your dream NIL deal from when you were a student athlete? What if this company called you up like, hey, let's do a commercial?
This is the best question ever. I actually ask this question to other people all the time, like in recruiting visits and stuff. I love asking this. And I haven't really thought about it too much myself. I love food. In college, I mean, Chipotle was everything to me, was everything. So probably something with that. I'm not stylish, so definitely fashion wouldn't have been a thing. Probably some type of food product. What about you? What's the...
I don't know.
Get it on the podcast. Let's make it happen.
I've tried to get as unique as I could with the stuff I've done, but honestly, I'd probably say Chipotle too.
Oh, all right, Chipotle, sponsor us.
Seriously, please. I feel like I eat there 3 times a week, but...
If you're really disciplined, you can make 1 bowl, 2 meals. That never happens for me, but I go in always thinking it's going to happen.
Sure. All right. That's it, though. Let's finish off with some quick this or that questions. You can explain if you want, or you can just stand on your opinion here. Beach or mountains?
Both. I have now that because I'm in California now, I'm gonna sell the dream. We can have beach and mountains in the same day. You can surf and snowboard.
All right.
It's on the bucket list.
I can't argue with that. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee. In the morning, tea at night.
Sure. Home cooking or out to eat?
Home cooking, but I don't cook well.
Okay. Sure. Team sports or individual?
Team.
City living or countryside?
Ooh, this is my first city living, and I walk around all the time everywhere, and I love it. So city living.
Okay.
Only San Diego size, though. Not too much bigger.
Sure. I mean, San Diego's huge compared to what I'm used to, but
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, I was in Waco before this,
yeah.
so.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Phone calls or text messages?
Phone calls.
Um,
And the voice memos are too much. We need to
On
chill.
text
I
messages
gotta
as well.
re-listen to it about 10 times to understand. It's too much.
Podcasts or music?
Podcasts.
Instagram or TikTok?
Don't even have TikTok.
Me
And I
neither.
suck at Instagram.
Me neither. Okay. Online shopping or in-store?
Oh, definitely not in store. And I try to not do online, which
So
my
just no
wardrobe will
shopping.
attest.
Simple.
Old Navy sponsor me. You'll have talls. Good job.
And last one, let's do sweet or savory?
That is what? Savory. Yeah. Like I'm not a donut girl. I want a good breakfast sandwich.
Sure. Something with some substance.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
Exactly.
on.
But I mean, I'm still gonna eat the sweets later in the day. But
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks so much.
this was so fun. Thank you. Yeah, awesome. That was so fun.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Bench. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts so you never miss a conversation with the unsung heroes who power college athletics. Beyond the Bench is brought to you by Motion Sports, the technology platform for modern college athletics. To learn more about Motion, visit motionsports.io.